werken zelf omheen. Prachtig. Het is zoveel vanmiddag hier met ons om hartelijk dank Nederlands te vieren. Staat cadeau in het Engels en onze hoofdgast is die van het spreekt in Nederlands. En we toch in de eeuwige bepaald in het Nederlands. Vooral waarom wij hier vanmiddag bijeen zijn gekomen. We hebben hier in Nederland sinds 1969 vanuit Nederland gekend met Tibet en Tibetaan. En wij, Tibetanen en ikzelf, bijna 30 jaar met u in Nederland voor Tibet ingezet. En iedere keer dat wij bij elkaar komen, dat wij, ik, u bedanken voor uw steun. Dat is. Maar vandaag is wel iets anders. Heel bijzonder. Het gaat alleen maar in 3 woorden. Maar voor ons Tibetanen, Tibetaanse volk, is levensbelang. En dus, ik ga u straks even in het Engels waarom we dit vandaag in Nederland per se om Nederland te bedanken. Dat doen we heel vaak. Dat is heel erg belangrijk. Soms simpel dingen kan zo belangrijke betekenis hebben. En voor ons is dit. En ik zou ook denken, de Epische is de tekstgeving in Amerika een prachtig cultuur omdat die iedereen bedanken dat iemand voor je iets betekent. En vooral voor Tibetanen, de omstandigheden, het bijzonder. Dus nu ga ik naar Engels. Ons gast hier aanwezig. En straks verwachten wij Erika Terpstra. Ook aan ons kant van Nederland, onze hele gast. Zo. Vandaag gaat alles over dankbaarheid. The gratitude. So I will now speak in English. Because Dr. Rosa Senge, the President of the Tibetan government in exile, or later Central Tibetan administration, is here with us. Today, the whole, from 3 o'clock now till 5, we would like to be in feeling what the gratitude means for Tibetans. I believe it is also a celebration of friendship, celebration of partnership, if you want that, between 2 peoples, Tibetan people and Dutch. The one the highest in the world, and at least in Europe, meeting the lowest country in Europe. So today we are going to have a celebration and showing, expressing our gratitude to you. So you will see the whole program in that atmosphere. Thank you so very much for this afternoon being with us. We just had 2 months ago, wonderful, wonderful day in Ahoy with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And I still feel His Holiness speaking, and I still see more than 12,000 people showing up that again, showing their support, their friendship to 20 people, to His Holiness, 2 months ago. Here we are again. And so, like I said, on behalf of us, all of us here, and organizers of this afternoon, Tibetan Community in Nederland, International Campaign for Tibet, jointly take this organizing this today. And so, we feel that everything that we see happening in the world, people are busy with everything, all kinds of things, their lives, everything that involves. Yet we must not forget fairness. Who is kind to you, and when to say and what to say, what it means for their lives, especially to President. So this we will do today. On the other hand, as we have learned from His Holiness teachings, that impermanence, interdependence, so in the case of interdependence and impermanence, I would like to now, before we go and start the program today, I would like to take a small moment and request you to join me to remember Lord Gyari Rinpoche, who has passed away 3 weeks ago. What Gyari Rinpoche meant for Tibetan people, what he meant for International Campaign for Tibet, what he meant to thousands of others. And I know that today, many of us have had the opportunity to meet Rinpoche, know him personally. Most people knew Rinpoche as a seasoned diplomat, serving His Holiness Dalai Lama as his special envoy. I'm sure that many of you have received information from us during those 9 years that Lord Gyari was involved in the negotiation with the Chinese government, and International Campaign for Tibet communicated to you about what Lord Gyari was doing. Most of all, what Rinpoche now stands for us, that his leadership that has a vision that would include Tibetan people inside Tibet as main focus. We would like to see that Rinpoche's legacy is carried on. His International Campaign for Tibet, he has served with us as first as the chairman of the board and later executive chairman. And Rinpoche has shown to us last 30 years the leadership, the vision, and he was crucial in the consolidation and development of the organization as it is today. I'm sure each of us has different memories of him. He will remain with us through his legacy, what we have learned from him, what we have learned from what he has taught to us as a mentor, as a leader, and also as a friend. So I just would like to take this moment to think of Rinpoche, who is still with us. A week ago, I had the opportunity and privilege to attend his funeral in India. And I could feel that all of you from Netherlands, thousands of people who support Tibetan people, and directly the International Campaign for Tibet, Rinpoche was very much involved. And you all were with me, with us at that moment. It was a beautiful ceremony. And now it is up to us how we can carry his legacy, what we have learned. And RCT is committed to do our best just to that. In Rinpoche's memory, I would like to thank you once again for your support. He was able to do what he could do for Tibetan people 69 years ago because of your support. That's again connection. So thank you. Thank you very much for being there for us and that's remembering Lord Gyari Rinpoche. Thank you. So our program this afternoon is, like I said in the beginning, it is showing our gratitude. And I have said in 30 years, 1,000 times, but I still feel we cannot describe how much grateful we are to you for your support. hartelijk welkom. So we will have a very brief video footage. It's a glimpse of image how the journey in 1960 until now, your support and your help for Turntail. They join us. It's very, in some way, very short. Thank you.
afternoon, everyone. Kurumida and Tashi Delek. On behalf of all the Tibetans in the Netherlands, our students of Kangzhong Rikwe Tibetan School will be performing a song in honor of the country, the Netherlands. I would like to recite a few sentences from the song. You have been a pillar of support for all the Tibetan refugees. You have given us our birthright of freedom and equality, which is still denied in our own country, Tibet. A million thank you won't be enough to show our gratitude towards you. You have been there, you are there, and we pray that you will continue to be there for us. Thank you to the Netherlands, the country that we now call home.
Tibet, land van sneeuw. We kwamen naar Nederland als asielzoekers. Wij zijn Tibetaanse vluchtelingen. Nederland, ons toevluchtsoord, dat bent u.
In Tibet is er geen recht op gelijkheid. In Tibet is er geen geluk op vrijheid. In Tibet heb je steun nodig voor de waarheid. Nederland, de schouder waarop onze waarheid rust, dat bent u. Dank u wel.
Yeah.
Now we will have a traditional camp dance performance from young Tibetan ladies. The lyrics of this song is in praise of Sikyong Lobsang Sengye, composed by Tibetan inside Tibet.
Misschien weet u ook, u know, dat in Tibet je een aantal three provinces, different languages, same Tibetan language. To tell you the truth, I didn't understand much when my brother was singing. It is from Kampa Anto. But the lyrics, partly what I understand. How Tibetans inside Tibet look up to appreciation of what Dr. Lobsang Sengye, the first president of Tibetan government exile, Central Tibetan Station, democratically elected. How Tibetans see him, the symbol of their hope, symbol of something good will happen, good will come to them. symbol, the greatness of Tibetan culture and religion will come from exile Tibetans under leadership of President Losang Sengye. It's amazing how Tibetans inside see us all, as their hope, and that the Tibetans inside Tibet expressed in many different ways, and this is through a beautiful song of these two elections where Dr. Losang Sengye was elected democratically. Now, as far as for head of the government, permanent exile, government, no country, without any economic direct source, over 150,000 Tibetans living in exile, to keeping over 60 years the establishment. We have all the acting, functioning government in exile, except that it is not recognized politically. But at the same time, a big responsibility of Dr. Losang Sengye, tremendous responsibility on the shoulder, and that is keeping on one hand Tibetans in exile, that they have also not only economic means, but also their hopes, aspirations, while growing up in exile. But most of the Tibetans inside, we just heard from the song of Tibetans Look Up, hope, symbol. I believe the last 7 years, Dr. Losang Sengye has done an excellent job revitalizing Tibet movement, revitalizing Tibet community with such limited resources. And we are proud to have him as a leader, Tibetans inside Tibet, 6 million Tibetans, and outside. We support wholeheartedly him. We are very proud to have him at this time where our struggle is as a leader. Now, I would like to request Dr. Losang Sengye to come to the podium, please to share what your vision for Tibetans, what you want, you think that Nyaland we could do. Thank you.
Let me try this. Hartelijk dank, Netherlands. Is it good? I was just taught by Erica here, so if I made mistakes, it's your fault, Erica. If I did well, it's mine. I just want to thank Sri Chambalan for the kind introduction. I know the ICT Europe has done a tremendous job, and other hosts of today's event is the Tibetan community of the Netherlands, and Sri Chambalan rightly mentioned Yetu Mushik for his immense contribution to the Tibetan cause, and my profound condolences to him and his family. I would also like to acknowledge Pesh Puzalan, representative of His Holiness Dalai Lama and Central Tibet Administration, here with us today, and our chief guest, whom we are going to honor, Erica, for being here. It's been 60 years since His Holiness Dalai Lama had to flee Tibet. At the age of 24, on March 17, 1959, when Tibet was on the verge of occupation, he fled with a small entourage exactly around midnight. Imagine a 24-year-old leader who had to leave his homeland, his people, and everything that he knew, to a foreign country. And after 2 weeks of traveling, trekking, a tiresome trekking rather, he was exhausted. And on March 31st of 1959, 1959, he reached India. And he said at that time, he felt so relieved to see few Indian policemen to receive him. And for the last 60 years, it's been an experience, a story of repression, refugees, resilience, and revival under the leadership of His Holiness, the great 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet. And you all are very fortunate to have him visit you 7 lucky times. And he visited you just recently. And he has just returned from Japan to India. But for 6 million Tibetans in Tibet, they want to see him. They want to be blessed by him. They want to touch him just once. Have 5 seconds with him. The 6 millions of Tibetans are denied that right. But the people in the Netherlands have received him 7 times. So what you got, for us Tibetans, is a blessing. It's a privilege. It's an honor. And what is being denied to Tibetans in Tibet. As for His Holiness' advice, he always says, we must remember our old friends and then make new friends. That's a Buddhist Tibetan tradition. Don't forget your old friends. Always keep them, remember them. Because our success is success because our old friends who have been with us for 10, 20, 30, 40, 60 years, is because of their support we have been successful. And we should remember. That's why this year we are celebrating Thank You Year or Gratitude, because I've been traveling all over the place to thank the people and the countries around the world. In fact, this is my 12 cities, 26 days tour, and my last stop is Amsterdam. Because I want to keep the best for last. And I didn't know that between the flight between New York and Amsterdam is only 6 hours. So I could not sleep also, because this morning as I landed, I had to go to meet with Tibetans and come back here. So do I look sleep deprived? No? No, that's good. We had Thank You India event in India. The Cabinet Minister of India came. And we had Thank You Canada event. A minister from the Canadian government came. And we had Dankeschön Dutch here at Frankfurt. And we also had, Thank You Switzerland. Now, after 6 days in India, I have to go to Australia to again thank the government and people of Australia. Because this is a heartfelt thank you from us. I'm standing here, and many Tibetans, they said that the song that they sang essentially says, because of your contribution to scholarship, your help to the hospitals, clinics, or settlements, or old homes, Tibetans as refugees did not disappear, but rather stood firm and revived, in some ways still remain hopeful for the Tibetan cause. Inside Tibet, 60 years of tragedy, 60 years of suffering, 60 years of pain, 60 years of environmental destruction. Our minerals are exploited as we speak. 60 years of cultural assimilation, where Tibetans are discouraged from using Tibetan language as a medium of instruction at university level, at high school level, even at middle school level, so that they be taught in Chinese, younger generation of Tibetans become Chinese and eventually convert Tibet into Chinatown. Despite all these challenges of occupation and repression and marginalization, it has also been 60 years of revival and rebuilding. Sometimes I'm asked this question, that why are you in this job? This is such a difficult job. And it gets more difficult given the enormous rise and power and influence of China. But we always say, we do not fear the Chinese government. When we say that, people kind of laugh and don't believe that who is not scared of China. And I also say that, in fact, we can succeed against the Chinese government or the Communist Party of China. And they say, how can you succeed? You are 6 billion Tibetans. But there is evidence, undisputable evidence, that we have already succeeded because of your support and because of your help. After the occupation of Tibet, 98% of Tibetan monasteries and nunneries were destroyed. 99.9% of monks and nuns were destroyed. Buddhism, as we knew it, disappeared from Tibet. The Communist Party of China thought and believed that they succeeded because they had physically removed Buddhist practitioners and Buddhism from the map of Tibet. But under the leadership of His Holiness Dalai Lama, in exile in India, brick by brick, we rebuilt all the major monasteries destroyed in Tibet. Brick by brick, we revived Buddhism in the whole of the Himalayan region of India, Nepal, Bhutan. And center after center, Buddhist centers were established all over the world. His Holiness plan was first rebuild Buddhism among exiled Tibetans. As a backup plan, if you have revived Buddhism in the Himalayan region, they can cross the mountains and go to Tibet to revive this. And plan C was through these Buddhist centers around the world, including in the Netherlands, the teachers and students can fly to Tibet and revive Buddhism. And after 60 years, what has happened? Buddhism is back in Tibet. Not just that, China has become the largest Buddhist country in the world with 300 to 400 million Chinese who are practicing Buddhism. So on the spiritual front, we have already won. We have already prevailed. I'm sure Mao Zedong and Chinese leaders are wondering, after complete destruction of Buddhism in Tibet, not only is being revived, its personal and social space of Tibetan life. In Tibet, Buddhism is back in China too. So that's why when I'm asked this question, don't you think your job is difficult, almost impossible? I said no. I always say we will prevail. Because why? Buddhism is the foundation of Tibetan civilization. Buddhism is the foundation of Tibetan freedom struggle, which is 2,500 years old. Communism is just 100 years old. There was never a competition to begin with. No wonder Tibetans have succeeded in reviving our identity and reasserting our spirituality. Now, we have one more job left. That is to revive or restore basic freedom of the Tibetan people. Because 153 Tibetans have committed self-immolation. They have burned themselves. One just 2 weeks ago, saying they want to see return of His Holiness Dalai Lama to Tibet. They want to see basic freedom restored to Tibetan people. Tibetan administration have consistently and categorically discouraged self-immolation in Tibet, because we believe as human beings we should live and fight a non-violent fight. But as a Buddhist, when someone passes away, when someone dies, we pray for them. But as a Tibetan, we support their aspiration because they want to see return of His Holiness Dalai Lama to Tibet, freedom for Tibetan people. That is the aspirations of Tibetans in Tibet, and we must all work together for some more years to make that dream a reality. I know some of you have been with us for 30, 40 years, and I can see some gray hair. Gray hair represents your resilience and also wisdom. You have been with us for a long time, but you have been determined to be with us for this long. Now all you need to do is take a few more steps forward, and we will get there. That's what I believe. Now, wherever I travel, Chinese government act with impunity. I was just giving a talk at the University of Toronto. 50 to 60 Chinese students came to protest. They were saying, one China, and you cannot speak about Tibet. So they claim that they represent Tibetan people in Tibet, not me. And I'm not surprised, because last February I was in South Africa. Again, the law school where I was supposed to give a talk came under tremendous pressure from the government, from the donors, from the chancellor of the university to cancel the talk. But a brave dean of law school had all the faculty members vote, and they voted to let me speak, because they said, we teach freedom of speech in the classroom. And this is South Africa, the land of Nelson Mandela. How can we deny someone the right to speak? So I was allowed to speak. What happened? 100 South Africans and Chinese came and stormed the campus. They took over the auditorium. They took over the stage. Unfortunately, the law school had arranged an alternative room where I spoke, and 2/3 of the students came. And I said, this is the land of Desmond Tutu and Nelson Mandela. This is where you fought against apartheid regime. This is where you fought for democracy and freedom of speech. And today, the Chinese government and Chinese people are telling you not to let Tibetans speak in your own land. They were moved and they were very supportive. As I was going out, obviously there were 30 or so Chinese with banners, still shouting, one China, get out of South Africa. And I saw a lot of phones pointed at me, because they want to see a Tibetan guy coming and speaking, perhaps running away. As I saw so many phones pointed at me, I gave them victory sign with a smile. Next day, the Chinese embassy issued a very scathing press release against me, but there was no photograph of me, because all the photographs had victory sign. I gave them the victory sign because it's a victory for us, because I could speak for Tibetan people in the land of Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu. But also it's a victory for them, the Chinese students, the Chinese people, because in China, if they protest like that, they will go to jail. In South Africa, they would have that protest because there is freedom of speech. So hence victory for me, for Tibetan people, and also victory for the Chinese people. So same thing at Toronto University. So some Chinese students came in and they wanted to ask questions. They were quite disruptive, but I said, no, I will not leave till I finish answering all your questions, because we are celebrating freedom of speech. And I was in Madrid. There was a festival organized by the mayor's office, and the Chinese embassy threatened to pull out the Chinese delegation if I come and speak. The mayor said, that's your choice. The Xi is coming. But then the Chinese embassy came back and said, if he speaks, the Chinese president might cancel the visit in 4 weeks' time. And then a few members of parliament that I was meeting in Canada received letters from Chinese embassy not to have dinner with me. It's true. So wherever I go, almost there's a parallel delegation of Chinese people from the Chinese embassy trying to disrupt and cancel my events. I was walking towards the Swiss parliament. Our meeting was scheduled at 10:30 and we were told to come at 10:45. And when we reached there, we found out the Chinese delegation was in the Swiss parliament persuading parliamentarians not to meet with me. To some extent it worked, because out of 22 Swiss parliamentarians who signed themselves as friends of Tibetan people, only 2 showed up. But at least 2 showed up. I was scheduled to meet with the speaker. I will not name a European parliament. 9:30 was the meeting. We got a call at 9 o'clock saying the meeting was cancelled because the Chinese embassy called the foreign office, and the foreign office called the speaker's office. What it shows is that they are acting with impunity. Now, human rights of Tibetan people is no more about human rights of 6 million Tibetans in Tibet. I say this. Now it's about us, all of us. It's no more in Tibet, it's right here in the European countries as well. We all know a case of Marriott Hotel. One staff uploaded a Tibet support group link, and the Chinese embassy and later Chinese government complained. What did the Marriott Hotel do? The CEO of Marriott Hotel wrote a written apology to the Chinese government and delivered in Beijing. And I think the staff, she was fired. And we all know about Mercedes-Benz, very well-known car company in Europe, in Germany. One staff put a quote of His Holiness Dalai Lama. Chinese government complained. What did Mercedes-Benz do? The CEO in Beijing wrote a written apology to the Chinese government. Now, the battlefront is no more in Tibet, it's right here. In your office, in your country, you are being denied your freedom of speech. You are told to cancel this event, not to meet this guy, not to do that. So the choice before us is either you transform China or China will transform you. And it's already happening. The choice is very clear. However, there are some backlashes and bias moves going on. I've been to Australia a few times. First time when I went to Australia, then Foreign Minister of Australia would refuse to meet with me, obviously. But it was the media discourse whether he would meet with me or not. But when I took the elevator to the Parliament, he was coming into the elevator, and I met him there, so it was a karmic meeting. Next time when I went, he had left the government, and he has joined as the consultant for the Chinese government. Trade Minister of Australia negotiated a controversial deal. He had to leave the office. The next time, I found out he's paid $800,000 a year as a consultant for the Chinese company. Now in Australia, there's a big debate as to what to do about it. Finally, the ruling party of Australian government passed a bill in the Parliament restricting foreign influence in Australia, particularly the Chinese government. So Australian government and people are saying, enough, we pass a bill. Also in Czech Republic, I was there just recently, and Czech Parliament has formed the largest parliamentary Tibet support group. 51 members of Czech Parliament have signed up to be a Tibet support group. When I say largest, it's largest in Europe. So Czech people are very happy. They say, oh, Czech is never the first or the largest in Europe, but they are very happy to be the largest Tibet support group in whole of Europe. So I'm not putting pressure on the Netherlands. Singh Chamberlain claims the Netherlands' generosity and your sense of pride, your sense of you stand up for justice and democracy and all that. So next time when I come, I hope to see the largest parliamentary group in Europe taken over by Netherlands. Even in Japan, this all was just there in Japan. Japan has the largest Tibetan parliamentary support group in the whole world. 92 members of parliament in Japan have signed up themselves as the support group of Tibet. That's a good turnaround. Even in India, there's a bit of a discourse and a bit of a backlash. Since 2011, whenever India and China, Indian and Chinese presidents or prime minister used to meet, in their bilateral agreements, they used to always agree on one China. So in 2014, I think, then Foreign Minister of China, Wang Yi, was visiting and meeting with the Indian Foreign Minister, Sushma Swaraj. And he said, well, after Xi Jinping meets with Prime Minister Modi, we have to sign an agreement in which we have to mention one China. And Foreign Minister of India said, okay, if you want one China, what about one India? And Wang Yi said, what do you mean by one India? Yes, one India means Kashmir and Arunachal Pradesh are also part of India. Oh. Finally, in the agreement, bilateral agreement, India doesn't mention one China anymore. Because India is also standing up for their own people. And then there are many cases recently in Maldives, in Sri Lanka, and also in Malaysia. There's been a backlash to all the investment the Chinese companies are making, and people are realizing, they're saying, it's no more economy, it's political, even denial of academic freedom. In Australia, the largest number of foreign students are Chinese. One professor mentioned Taiwan in the class, the Chinese students complained to the university. What did the university do? Fired the professor. So hence, as I said, the battlefront is no more in Tibet. It's right in your country, right in your territory. With all this backlash going on, I'm sure the latest one is US government. Of course, US government has imposed high tariff on Chinese goods. That's been debated. But Vice President Mike Pence has made the strongest speech on China ever by US leaders, and mentioning Tibet in very substantive, frank and forthright way. He just gave this speech, I think, 3 weeks ago at Hudson Institute, and he's been traveling in Asian countries just recently and criticizing human rights record of China very strongly. So there's a lot of debate in America also as to what to make of China and how to deal with China. And I'm just coming from Halifax Security Forum, where 90 democratic countries meet every year with 300 participants. And the main discussion is how to challenge Russia and China. Rather now, China and Russia. Because all these countries see China as a bigger threat. So this backlash is going on. So hence, all our friends and supporters, we are not alone. There are many people who are looking at China from a different angle. There are many people who start to believe what Tibetans have been saying for the last 60 years. Finally, there is a traction. I spoke at National Endowment for Democracy at Hudson Institute and Slovakia at European University. So even though Chinese government try to restrict space for us, but they are always stayed open and increasingly so. So let us all band together for a few more years, for a few more events, till we cross the line. Because if you are for justice, you have to be for Tibet. If you are for freedom and non-violence, then you have to be for Tibetan people. If you are for peace, if you are for solidarity, if you are for democracy, you have to be for Tibetan people. Don't you agree? You can't say, I am for democracy, I am for human rights, but I can't support Tibetan people. You cannot say, I'm for peace and non-violence, but not for Tibet. That's double standard. If you want democracy to thrive, if you want human rights to remain strong, if you want non-violence and peace to spread around the world, then you have to support Tibetan people. Because we have been the good guys because of your support. Tibetan in exile is a democratic system. It's democracy without borders. Because we are located in 40 countries, including 1,000 Tibetans in the Netherlands. But we vote every 5 years to elect our leader. That's democracy without borders. Now, in fact, recently we have introduced party-less democracy. We believe that party often fight for party's interest over national interest. So it's a party-less democracy without borders. That's the role model of Tibetan democracy. And which is a good thing, actually, for 60 million refugees around the world. Finally, you might wonder, after all these speeches that I've been giving and Shambhala has been giving, you might still wonder, is it still possible? Can non-violence prevail? Can peace win? Can good guys win? I would say absolutely. I was in Frankfurt and Freiburg in Germany. Like this group, they wanted me to inspire them, encourage them. And I said, my goodness, the land of Germany is asking a Tibetan refugee for inspiration? I said, have you forgotten your own history? Berlin Wall came down 30 years ago. You are the people who brought down that Berlin Wall and inspired the world The story is that then President of Poland, Lech Walesa, was meeting Foreign Minister and Chancellor of West Germany. And then Foreign Minister of West Germany asked Lech Walesa, what do you make of all the students and youth surrounding the Berlin Wall? And he said, the wall is coming down, be prepared. Then Foreign Minister of West Germany said, I wish that problem will happen, but it's not going to happen in my lifetime. And 2 weeks later, the wall came down. As I said, I visited South Africa. I went to Robben Island. I went to see the prison where Nelson Mandela stayed for a long time. Altogether, he spent 27 years in prison, 8 years in solitary confinement. I touched that prison cell, and I said, if Nelson Mandela could do it, His Holiness Dalai Lama should be able to do it. Because if you read the newspaper accounts of 1980s, late 80s, forget about reviving democracy in South Africa. Obituaries were written about Nelson Mandela. They said he will not succeed, he will die in prison. That's what it was written about. But what happened to Nelson Mandela? He came out of prison, tall, majestic, elegant, and revived democracy in South Africa. Aung San Suu Kyi, 5 or 6 years ago, we all said, well, she's in prison, her military junta is so strong, she can't free herself. And she did. Democracy is restored, but there's some controversy now, we know that. East Timor, I have met Ramos Horta, the Nobel laureate, a few times, and I asked him advice. What should we do? And he said, well, keep waiting. Once he was invited to give a talk in Midwest America. He changed 2 flights. At the airport, one young guy came and put him in the car and drove him to a cafeteria where there were only 5 people to listen to him. But nonetheless, he went. Well, today I see more than 5 people here in Amsterdam. So our chances are much better than East Timor at that time. So if you look at all the stories, Berlin Wall, Nelson Mandela, Aung San Suu Kyi, East Timor, and Northern Ireland, who would have thought the problem in Northern Ireland would be solved? But it did. All this happened during our lifetime. And all of them got Nobel Peace Prize and returned to their home. Now our Nobel laureate, His Holiness Dalai Lama, it's his turn. Don't you agree? Years ago, at the age of 24, he had to leave his homeland. It's been 60 years of tragedy, 60 years of repression, but 60 years of resilience and revival too, under the leadership of His Holiness Dalai Lama. We all must work together a little longer, with a little more determination, and make dream come true. And His Holiness Dalai Lama, in the same place from where he left, in the midnight of March 17, 1959. That would be such a beautiful story. To say that His Holiness left Lubulingka Palace 60 years ago, and His Holiness Dalai Lama is back in the Lubulingka, the residence where he belongs. And he will give talks that he gave here in Amsterdam. He'll give teachings that he gave in European cities. This time, the hair of the crowd will be more black than blonde. That's 6 million Tibetans will be listening to him, getting blessed by him. That's the dream. That's the picture we want to see. And we want to see the same song sang here by Tibetan youth back in Tibet, saying, thank you, world. Thank you, our friends, for supporting us all these years and making us realize our dream. That will be the success of justice. That will be the success of nonviolence. That will be the success of freedom. That will be the success of democracy. That will be the success of human rights. And that will be the chapter written about Tibet. Because the author of that chapter will be all you good folks in this room. And we will make it happen sooner than later. Be with us, let us march along, and let us bring down the wall in Tibet one more time. Thank you very much.
Nou, wat kan ik zeggen, nou zo inspiring, inzicht en visie. But, Dr. Sengela, thank you so much for sharing the challenges that you face. Not only that inside you, but also on a daily basis. That is the reality, the real situation is that we feel the Chinese are invading and we are fighting the war from here to inside here. But as we hear from Dr. Sengela, how Chinese are close to us. But I think as much as we see now, the Chinese are challenging the Tibetan leadership, Tibetan people, but I feel more and more that we in the West, in Nederland, it really is a wake-up call to feel that how the Chinese encroaching our democracy, our freedom, our value here. So we have to be truthful of where we believe in. And so, when something this happens, I think we have to stand up before it is too late, in the sense that we feel it has to do with a handful, 6 million Tibetans or 17 million Uyghurs in East Turkestan that China is dealing with. But I think it's, we know in Netherlands, in Chinese presence, in all walks of our life. But it also teaches us to be able to practice what we can do to preserve our democracy, our freedom, by helping Tibetans and Uyghurs to gain their freedom. It's amazing to hear your story, the challenge that you face when you travel. And for us, it's a rare moment that you're being here, Dr. Sengela, this time. We don't get you here every year even. This is your second up to 2014. We hope that you will come back more sooner. One thing I can say on behalf of people who are here, people who support Tibet and the organization that I work for in Netherlands, after 60 years, we still have so many thousands are still here to help us and be for us and with us. And so there is this that makes me in Netherlands to continue. And as His Holiness says, never give up. And we will not give up. And we have some more work to do. The next time you come, that we will have perhaps the largest Tibet support group, intergroup in our parliament. We are working on it. So thank you so much. Now, you are enjoying this afternoon. These speeches are this time mine, except but we also have this feeling of celebrating Tibetan culture. We've seen the small children, Tibetan children, they're practicing every weekend to present here as a proud future generation, future Tibet, to show that they do their best. So now, we are very fortunate to have someone I think does not need any introduction, because we have seen the next performer many, many times. We had the opportunity to hear her sing, to see her dance for the last 30, 35 years in Netherlands. Namgyal Namla, who started her learning music at the age of 8, with many Tibetan masters, especially classical traditional opera, but also Tibetan Institute of Performing Arts. Namgyal is living in Netherlands since the early 80s and now performs in Netherlands, Europe, worldwide. And her mission is through her music to portray Tibetan culture, but also that culture must be preserved and how important it is. Each part of society has a role to play. So artists and musicians. So Namgyal, we are very proud and grateful to have you here this afternoon performing for us, who is a very, very special event. Thank you, Netherlands event is special, and we hope that you are enjoying it. Thank you.
Song for the World Peace. 这是阿哲斯的一首。 lost our country. But we have a strong spirit.
Thank you, Nangila. For right back to Tibet, I could feel in the mountains the romantic life, but life before the invasion the Tibetans used to live. That's right. That's the feeling that goes deep to my heart. And this was one song when Nandyala sang in 2005 when RCT was presented the prestigious Gersenpenning in Vladimir. And I'm going to sing this number. And it was my special request to sing this. Today, it's beautiful. Thank you. I hope you have enjoyed. And I'm sure many of you have visited Tibet that you feel when you hear the song that you're in Tibet. Beautiful, thank you. Now we are coming to the end. Everything ends here. But tomorrow we have a new beginning. But obviously, the highlight of Thank You, Nederland. You would like to, it has to have something concrete. We thank you. You have heard today that this your support we cannot describe. No words can describe. Van Dalen cannot describe how much we feel grateful to Tibetans for your support. So our journey with you will continue. We are here together in this journey, in this fight for freedom, democracy, for Tibetans inside Tibet. Thinking of Tibet as not an open country, the way country is kept. It's more difficult to go to Tibet than to North Korea these days. And this is our fight is so difficult. At the same time, it shows the, like Dr. Lotha Singela said, the resilience of Tibetan people inside. They never spirit not crushed. So therefore, this afternoon is a small gesture on behalf of all of us, having Dr. Lotha Singela as the guest of honor, the leader of Tibetan people, being with us here. I'm a happy person now. It was beautiful to do this together. And obviously, when you thank somebody, you would like to not only verbal expression, but also something concrete, like talking. Since we are so many in Netherlands, thousands, we couldn't produce any thousands of, so we had to think of some creative way. So we thought we would like to present to somebody who is symbol of our gratitude, but also that what you stand for, somebody who represents that. So in the Netherlands, when we think of Erika Terpstra, is somebody who we feel, in her own way, someone deserves that to be chosen. And I'm sure that you would really join us, that our choice is the right one. That does not mean diminish your support. And Erika will receive a token of gratitude from Dr. Lotha Singela on your behalf. So, someone, Erika, doesn't need any introduction, but I must say there's someone that I feel that most of all, her background, very decorative, and I almost feel that who doesn't know Erika Terpstra in the Netherlands? But maybe not everybody knows how much she does and means for Tibetan people, and how deep and close friend of Tibetan people and His Holiness Dalai Lama. And most of all, that she's always there for us. Be there the political lobby, using her vast network, political network. But sometimes very mundane things, that in September, that Erika would go to talk to, negotiate with the director of Ahoy, to negotiate with the price cutting down for the public talk. So these things you would not know how Erika is trying to help us, that help us stick in Busuk Dalai Lama in terms of cost that we really. So this is a small example. So therefore, I hope that you will join me, that we have our choice the right person. And we would now, I would like to request Dr. Oliver Singela to honor us to present this thank you present award to Erika, and I also would like to request Erika to come to the podium. Thank you.
In profound appreciation of the support to Tibetan people in Tibet from Central Tibet. Yes.
Thank you very much. Dear Mr. President, it's the first time that I can say to the President of Tibet in exile, dear Mr. President, thank you very much for your inspiration here, being here, and not only talking about your big knowledge of what's going on in the world, but just to give us inspiration and to give us hope. Because I do agree with you very much that Buddhism is the foundation of the noble art, the noble way of life. It's really worth to fight for. And it will be understood everywhere. And it's just becoming. Tsering, who is our inspiration here in the Netherlands, is the director of the International Rain for Tibet, is doing for so many years on the whole so much good work that we feel all privileged to fight for the cause of Tibet. And may I have this for a moment, please? For a moment, I take it home. Thank you very much. Dear audience, all those thousands and thousands and thousands Dutch people who support Tibet, this award is yours as well. I won't invite you at my home, but take yours. And just be proud that you are part of the necessary support of Tibet. Support at the fight of democracy. You know, this year I was invited by the new church here in Amsterdam, who's got now a beautiful exhibition of the life of Buddha, to write a book for children on this subject. I'm not a Buddhist, but I'm very much inspired by the real things of Buddhism, the tolerance, the respect for other people, the non-violence of resistance, the fight for ending the suffering of all people, not only for Tibet. It is so important for the peace in the world. It is so important that Buddhism, or at least the essence of Buddhism, will be in our heart as we learn from the best ambassador Tibet ever has had. That is His Holiness Dalai Lama. He gave us the lessons every time again of living with a heart of compassion. Not only for your own friends and your family, but for the whole world. And of course, for the people of Tibet. And I'll tell you, I was very much moved by the last song. We lost our country, and you could feel the sorrow without understanding a word of it. The sorrow of the people of Tibet. And that must end, and it will end. Really a good message for you. When I wrote the book, of course I did a lot of research of the life of Siddhartha, the prince who became the Buddha. And once he had this enlightenment, one of the first things he said to people who came to listen to his lessons, in everybody, not only here, as my audience, he said, but in everybody, there is a little Buddha inside. And now in the coming years, we all have the opportunity to follow this little Buddha in ourselves, just to support Tibet and the whole struggle for freedom, for democracy, for justice. And we will do that, and I promise you. And I tell you, as a former politician, I listened to you and I thought, ooh, what a speaker is this man. And I'll tell you a little secret. It is unfortunate that I cannot vote for you again. But if I could vote, I would vote for you. And during all my traveling all around the world, you don't know what I've got a little television program. And it will start next Friday, the 3rd. And on all my traveling around, I meet a lot of people who are inspired by Buddhism. And I think that is an enrichment for the whole world's population, trying to be a global citizen. And a global citizen will be, how do you say, inspired by the Buddha. When I wrote my book for children, I visited a beautiful, beautiful Buddhist temple in Bangkok. It was the lying Buddha. And Buddhist people say this Buddha can sometimes wink at you. And it is true. Because this Buddha winked for me. And of course I'm not crazy, so I know that how do you say they say, well, it is not really blinking, of course not. It's just a statue, but it is just one lichtstraal. Noem je dat? Okay, so Buddha winked at me. So I was very proud, was very excited, etc. And then I wrote my book, and my book for children is on living with compassion in your heart. It is very, very solid. And it's called a wink of the Buddha. I think you only get a wink when you deserve it. I think you deserve it. So that is why I'm so proud. My first book, I was privileged to present it to His Holiness the Dalai Lama just 1 month ago. And now I'm very privileged because you deserve the wink of the Buddha to present you my book. Next year as well, and I did a football game. You shouldn't do that at my age. Who can tell that the president of Tibet helps you with the sentence?
Dank u wel, lieve Erika, van al jouw ook inspirerend woord en jouw energie, ongelooflijke energie, en dat je altijd afstraling van yes, we can do it. En dat is jouw trademark en dat inspireert ons, inspireert mij. Once again, on behalf of Tibetan community in Netherlands and International Campaign for Tibet, and on behalf of all of us here, I would like to once again thank Dr. Rosa Singila for being with us today and gracing us with this very special moment. And I'm sure, and you can be reassured, that support from Tibet, for Tibet from Netherlands is stronger than ever. I also would like to thank Tashi Tunzala, the representative of His Holiness Dalai Lama based in Brussels. We have had the opportunity to see him more in September during the visit of His Holiness, and also making this possible for Siyum Doranosan for being here. But my dear friends, I hope you had a few hours of Saturday, 24th of November 2018 that will stay with you, this beautiful memory. But from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of all the Tibetans, I would like to once again with the board and thank you so much for your support so far, and we know that you will be with us in years to come. So with this, I would like to now invite Ngawang, Kam Ngawang, the Vice Chairman of the Tibetan community, to say a few words of his gratitude to you all. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon all of you. On behalf of the Tibetan community in Netherlands and International Campaign for Tibet, it has been truly honor and privilege to receive you here this afternoon. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for being here and joining us in celebrating this special and festive event with us. First of all, I would like to thank our President, Sijung Dr. Longsa Sanjala, for taking time out from his busy schedule and for giving this event meaning and prestige. Secondly, I very warm thank you, Mr. Prasad, for being with us here today and your many years of friendship and unwavering dedication for Tibetan people, both inside and outside Tibet. Thirdly, I would like to thank all our friends and supporters gathered here for their tremendous generosity and continued support toward Tibet, and its people for extending a helping hand in our time of need and for having a warm heart toward our cause. You have provided our brothers and sisters in Tibet, perhaps the most important thing of all, keeping the dream alive for a better future. Together with you, I express our hope that one day soon the aspiration for freedom and dignity will be fulfilled. Of course, I would like to thank all the performers here today, and I would like to thank, especially mention the children of Tibetan Konjong Rinzul School for seeing that today our own Tibetan school was founded in 2014. And I would like to thank all of you who have supported this initiative. It is a deep-felt dream of every parent, especially those in exile, to transform the language, culture, and tradition to the children. All of us are profoundly grateful to all of you who have contributed toward this effort. And last but not least, I would like to thank the Director of International Committee for Tibet in Europe, Mrs. Seren Chambala, and her team for the hard work, dedication, and perseverance in helping our Tibetan people to fulfill their aspiration for freedom and justice. And lastly, our heartfelt gratitude goes on to the Netherlands itself, a wonderful country with a warm heart to those in need. As in Tibetan in the Netherlands, are very proud and privileged to have been welcomed into your society, and we are indeed extremely grateful to be part of this. And for the support we have been given over the years, both from individuals and the society as a whole. So thank you from the bottom of our heart. We from our side are very much looking forward to extend our friendship for many, many years to come. Now I have the pleasure to invite all of you to our reception and second floor here in this building. Thank you once again for taking time and be here. Tujiche, Tashidelei, Tusiana. Thank you so much.
Ik vond het een mooi boek en ik had erover gelezen, dus ik heb het gewoon meteen gehad.
Dus ik mag weer een dagje aan het werk.